What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Visitor Parking Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Vargas. We have a special episode for you guys tonight. This is episode 40. We made it, baby. 40 episodes of doing a podcast. And man, I got to tell you, whether we have one listener, two listeners, 8 listeners, 30 listeners, I'm so proud to have this channel and just be able to get on here and get my voice out, especially right now when freedom of speech is kind of everything. It's important, I think, that we all use our voices for good and just try to spread some joy out there, spread some laughter. And I got into podcasting really after seeing a couple people doing it that I liked. I was never into Joe Rogan, but Theo Von is probably my favorite comic, one of my favorite comics and podcasters. And so Theo Von was a big inspiration for me getting on the podcast. So shout out Theo Von, Joey Diaz, Joe Rogan. He's good. Like, I think Joe Rogan got a lot of people into like, what is podcasting? Podcasting, like Joe Rogan was like the godfather of podcasting in a way. And I'm probably wrong about that, but that's just how I heard about it because Joe Rogan was so triggering. Oh, he's that Republican guy, or he's the wrestler guy, or he's the Fear Factor dude. So everybody has kind of a personality character on here. It's not, I think now that I watch podcasts, the ones I like are the ones that are super authentic. And I think that the hardest thing about doing this, putting yourself out there, doing the art is putting yourself out there. It's difficult. It's one of the hardest things that I train my salespeople to do, and sales in general that I have to do, is put myself out there. It's scary because if you're being authentic, if you're being you, ooh, they might not like that person, unfortunately. And that's something that in life you have to be okay with. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to want to be your friend. Not everybody's going to want to hang out with you or invite you places. It doesn't mean that you're a loser. It doesn't mean you're an outsider. It just means that your personality is not for everybody. And the people that you hang out with or choose to hang out with, it's not something that I feel like should take up so much of your time worrying about that. And I think podcasting is one of those things where I really had to check myself. Why am I doing this? Is this for the ego that wants to be liked? Is this for the ego that wants to be heard? But I think most importantly, the job that I'm in, which is sales and staffing and government, I have to talk about government so much that I've been doing it 10 years. And you kind of realize that there's things that I don't like about it. Like, I don't like talking politics all day long. I don't like talking about Trump and immigration and what negative thing is going to happen today or tomorrow. So I think I get mistaken a lot of the times for wanting to talk politics on here when that's just kind of my life. I live close to DC, so for me, politics is common practice around here. And Trump comes up a lot on this podcast, probably because of where I live, but also because the guy just likes to be in the news every day, and he's an easy target. And he's ruining our country and our small businesses and our large businesses and our middle-sized businesses. If you're profiting off this, if you're profiting off Trump, I would like a message. Shoot me a message. Just let me know, hey, I'm profiting off it. So, but yeah, man, podcasting is a pretty special art. I actually wanted to do episode 40 on music, my love of music. And I'll touch briefly on it. You know, I think my mom had gifted me music right out the womb, dude. You know, I was listening to music from the time I can remember being born. It was people, and this is what I've kind of connected with my love for music is, as I had to write all this down for the episode, I was like, okay, you know, Andrea Bocelli, my mom loved him. Celine Dion, the Cranberries, Phil Collins. We had, I remember listening to Zion by Lauryn Hill, the Fugees. And I'm thinking about all these artists that my mom grew up, you know, having me listen to with her, and I loved it. And it was like, if you write this down, like Phil Collins is British, the Cranberries are Irish, Andrea Bocelli's Italian, Celine Dion is French. You're getting, I got such a wide variety of music from an early age, and I kind of realized that I associated people with music. Like my stepdad Wayne, like he loved classic rock, hair metal. Not classic rock as much as hair metal, but it was hair metal. It was like Skid Row, Guns N' Roses. My dad, he was real into Chumbawamba, Tub Thumper. Like, I get knocked down, but I get up again because you're never gonna get me down. So I think for me, like music was a beautiful thing because I tie everybody to music. Every love, every relationship, every one of you I know, you have a song attached to you somehow. It's like an aura. I kind of live in music, and like to give a couple more examples. Selena, my stepmom, she loved, like, I think it was Shania Twain. So it's like I kind of got a love for the female side of music early. And it's kind of hard to say it. I didn't want to do this live because it's just music seems so gay. Like it's one of those things that like men, it's one of those arts that we're not allowed to like be proud of unless it's like rock and roll or rap music. And I do love rap and rock, but my my heart is happiest with Snow Patrol, of Monsters and Men, these bands that have kind of mixed all these lyrics that I love with this folkish, worldly kind of soul into them. I love blues music recently. Rita is gone. She ain't coming back. I think Theo Vaughn showed me that one. I don't even know who it's by off the top of my head, but they have a very bluesy Louisiana twang to it. But everybody in my life, music, like it's kind of crazy how that happens. Like, even Caitlin, Honeybee, thinking of her songs and kind of knowing that's okay. That's where people, their hearts lie in song almost. So I didn't know how I was going to fill a whole episode with music. And I was talking to Katie before this, and she's like, yeah, I want to watch Dancing with the Stars, so I need you to finish up in like 25 minutes. So she's like, just do a quick episode. I'm like, all right. Yeah, you're right. I'm feeling a lot of pressure. I don't really want to do, a super long rant on Trump where I get depressed after. I don't want to do a super long episode on music where I'm getting so technical that, people are yawning. But yeah, who are some other notable musicians? I grew like Kevin and we went to Shinedown. I saw Shinedown in concert. I got real into Hinder. It wasn't like Breaking Benjamin, Disturbed, and then later in life, I think when I started smoking weed, I started listening to rap more. Rap made sense to me all of a sudden, besides Lil Wayne in high school, but everybody listened to that. But yeah, man, music holds, I think when I interview people moving forward, I think I'm going to kind of start mixing musicians and maybe even trying to get old musicians that I love onto the show because that's something I love talking about. I watch shows based on music they had. Smallville, One Tree Hill, Grey's Anatomy, shows that I would get made fun of for saying that I watch, and that's okay. But that's really the truth. Music has brought me through a lot of hard times. It's every breakup, every situation I've been through, everything with the company. I have a song for it all, and I don't know if that's normal. I don't know if everybody's like that, but I know that I think a ton about music all the time, and I got to thank my mom for that gift that she gave me, my great taste in music. Other people would say it's not, because I was that guy where I had to bring a speaker everywhere I went, and it really annoyed my friends and actually hurt my feelings because my friends didn't want to hear my music anymore. But then you grow up, and you go to parties, or you go to weddings, and you get really annoyed by the guy on the Bluetooth who always wants the aux, but that was me most of my life, but it's just because I love music. But yeah, I mean, I think the other thing about podcasting recently that's been giving me struggles, kind of like the business that I'm in, was putting this pressure on myself to perform. Like, I was doing something yesterday, when I recorded an episode, and I was like, this has to be a really good episode. I'm going to do it on TikTok Live. I'm going to be so infamous on doing it on TikTok Live. And that's really challenging to me to do it live because I'm nervous. It's a stage. It's a big stage. And I realized that I do this in my life where I set these bars so high for myself that it makes it like this impossible struggle, this impossible climb that I almost know in my head it's just not feasible to stretch myself that thin. But there's something in me where struggle has been equated to self-worth. Like if I'm not struggling or in pain doing this, then I'm not worthy of it. Like I don't deserve it. If I didn't fight for it, and I think maybe that stems from being a rich kid. Like my whole life, I had opportunity with my parents working so hard. My mom had started her company and taken that off, and it was her second one. And I lived in a big house, and I had nice things, and I never had to ask for anything. So I think for me, I never wanted to be seen as a bad guy because I would watch movies like Smallville or like Superman or whatever, where there's always a rich character and the rich character is always evil. And the young character who's poor and doesn't have anything and he's kind of a loser, like his arc is so special. Like Clark Kent, it was a farm boy who didn't have any money and had to work for everything with his parents, and he had to go to school and he couldn't play sports, and everyone thought he was a dork, even though so his character was kind of that comeback story of like, well, he's actually Superman and he could actually kick your ass and he's actually super handsome. And he's, all these things where it's like the poor guy kind of turns into this guy who's got all these amazing qualities. And then the rich guy is this guy who's been handed everything. He's never had to struggle. And, I think they always paint that guy out to be, with the obvious vices that you would get: spoiled, insensitive, not empathetic of the struggle of other people. But growing up the way I did really kind of I rooted almost for the Lex Luthor in a way. Obviously I loved Smallville and Tom Welling. If you guys don't know what that is, Smallville was one of my favorite shows because I love Superman. And it was about him growing up. Clark Kent, there was the whole mythology. But the CW, they just had the best music. They had Lifehouse, because it's you and me and all other people with nothing to lose. So they they just had the best music on that show. So it was hard not to love it, for me at least. Where was I going with all this, man? I think I was talking about rich kids and how insufferable they were on TV. And, the outsider was always the one who, kind of he worked two jobs after school, but I didn't have that story. So for me, I always wanted that story. Like I wanted to be that guy who had nothing. I wanted his parents to be poor. I wanted it just to be some wholesome life where it was like, maybe they weren't poor, they were middle class or whatever, but like, he had a story where it wasn't expected of him to grow up and be super successful. If he did all that, if he came back to his hometown with all these riches and he went on these adventures, and he made something of himself, everybody cheered him on because it wasn't expected. But if you have all these advantages, you get weight of responsibility. If you throw caution to the wind and just enjoy them all and go off on your jet ski and eat your caviar sandwiches and, look down on people, that's what's expected of a rich guy almost, like a rich kid, like, oh, he's going to be an asshole when he grows up. So I think people already have this notion of me, like in college, for example. I always used to pretend that I didn't have money, which was hard because I always had a nice car. But, like as soon as people would find out that like, oh, my mom was rich or whatever, and this is because, my friend Mo, like, would be like a dick and be like, Vargas will pay for it. He's got all the money. People would start changing the way they talk to me. They would start asking me for things. They start asking me for money or like just kind of like taking jabs at me when they weren't like that before. And so I think just that's been hard for me, looping it back into business and everything else. I make things harder on myself because I didn't have to struggle like as a kid, like with security and financial and like worry about like how I'm going to pay for college or worry about what job I'm going to get. I already knew. I already knew I was going to college, whatever college I wanted to go to if I had the grades. I already knew I could go and get whatever job I wanted. I could fly across the country, get a place in LA and go to film school. But to me, taking all that seemed so negative that I couldn't do it. So instead, I worked for my mom's company, did sales, worked my ass off, harder than anybody in the company. And I was pissed off, 'cause even when I did it, I was like, there it is, did it. And I'm like, nobody reacted positively to that because it's already expected of you, bitch boy. It's like you come in here, you should be the best. But then it's like, not really. If I came in here and I was the worst, you would be so much more loving and supportive of me if I was trying, but I sucked at it. You know what I mean? Like, so people, in a way, when you have privilege, I think it's not harder. It's just a different story. Like I didn't come up with anything. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. Really, I think it's more just I make things challenging when they don't need to be in my life to feel worthy, to feel like, okay, I'm not just that rich kid, spoiled kid. Like I'm not just taking a handout. So I think I've made a lot of decisions in my life based off of this is the harder path. I should do this, even though I'm miserable and I don't want to do this. So I think a lot of that happened to my company when I started a staffing agency 5 years ago, pandemic. The things I like about it were still there. Obviously, the money, if you made good money, but I wanted employees. I wanted a staff for my ego. I wanted 20 people in my office. I wanted my friends or family to come by and see like how well I was doing and how many people I had working for me. Because that empire to me, kind of like what my mom has, 2,000 employees, that to me that was success. And if I didn't have that, I didn't do what was expected of me and I'm worthless. And so I think that's definitely something I've had to wrestle with, and acknowledging it was this kind of made my life a lot better. And I'm still active in my company. I've reduced us down to 3 internal employees plus Caitlin, so it's 4. We do more direct hires, more perms. So it's kind of funny. We have more clients, we have more experience, but I'm taking us back to where we were in the first year and a half. And honestly, looking back, I had 3 friends working for me, loosely connected. Like, I was dating one of their friends and they knew, like, we all knew each other's stories. So like, but it was really fun. Like it was so much fun in the beginning. When you had that, cause we were working less hours, we were getting in at 9, leaving at 4, it was, I was at least doing that. They weren't far behind, but I think that's what made me happy about the company. The expectations of like, I need a 4th person. I need a 5th person. All right. We just made 200 grand. We have 250K in the bank. I can now hire 4 or 5 people. Okay. And that should, if they get them all up in 6 months, then we'll double size. Then we'll have 14 people. That's how I would think about business. I was never thinking, okay, we made 250K with 3 people. Let's make 450. Let's make and I'm talking bottom line revenue. We did over $1 million with 3 people in revenue. We did like 1.3. And then I think we did 1.6 the next year. So for that, if I could have just kept going with small, not tried to grow us, we could have, like, thinking back to the past 5 years, I would have been in a totally different cash position, and I would be walking around with a lot in my pocket. So there's a couple things that have brought us here, right? A couple things unintentionally. We have a real problem in the country right now. I work in sales. I make hundreds of calls a day per week. I talk to federal agencies, federal clients, consultants, candidates. I talk to people that are warehouse workers. I talk to people that are help desk. I talk to people that are IT support, AWS developers, commercial healthcare, cybersecurity, TSSCI cleared, secret cleared, place hundreds of people a year. Like, for 5 years, since I've been in business and staffing, after COVID, I've never seen it this bad. I've never seen it where people are not, they don't even have hope anymore. The remote workers were never of much use to my business. They often were hard to get on the phone. It's hard. They have their voicemails are often full. And this was not the norm before COVID. Before COVID, they worked in an office. So, Ted, your phone's ringing. You going to pick that up? I'm not picking that up. I'm at the grocery store. I got 2 kids with me. I'm playing World of Warcraft. I'm on the game. And when people are telling you that they're not working, do you know how aggressive they get with you? This is my schedule. You need to call me on my... You can tell they don't have another meeting. Their schedule isn't fully booked with meetings. They're relaxing. They're having lunch. They're coming back late. They forgot to schedule the interview. So between that was hard enough after COVID. That did not go away. It did not get better. It started to before Trump got elected. We get Donald in the office, and it's been downhill. It's been downhill, and it's just... we need to get Donald out of office. He needs to go. He needs to resign. We had the meeting of the generals today. That was great television. If you think that you are winning, if you think that this country is winning, this is what I voted for, I think you just don't have touch with reality. I really don't. I really don't think you... I think the traditionalist, the nationalist, the Christian nationalist, I was talking to a friend about this the other day, but it's really like they almost want it to go back to how it was after we got off the Mayflower. Like they want the women to be in, non-conservative clothes in the kitchen. They want diversity and segregation to be they do not want to include certain races. They want to be off on their own tribe. They want to go back to one religion, the right religion, Christianity. All the other religions, they're like the heathens. They're the Vikings. They must be cleansed. They're wrong. Just because I'm right, that makes you wrong. I'm so right that you are wrong. And that is kind of the mantra of these nationalists. It's like men in dresses, men, whatever, like making fun of transgender people, gay people. I get it. But it's also like half our military, a quarter of our military is made up of females. And we're trying to say that females have no place in the military, men in dresses and all this derogatory shit. And I'll be the first to say it, man, I got plenty of gay friends. And like I said, these gay friends, even they vote for Trump. They loved Trump. So it's like, why are we, why? I don't understand the bashing of these races, religions. And then Trump puts out these AI videos of Chuck Schumer and the Democrats, and he's trying to be his own South Park with AI and make fun of Democrats and call them pieces of shit. And I think that's where he's going. He thinks it's fair game. But I'm like, no, they're like pundits of government, politics. Like that's what they do. You're the president. You're supposed to be the father of our nation. And instead of handling all these problems like a man, you're putting them on everybody else. You're spewing problems everywhere. It's him. Instead of actually fixing the issues in our country, you're just trying to cut one of them off from the other and just segregate. I think he's being accused of sedition in a lot of ways. Some of the stuff I hear today, rhetoric against blaming Democrats, bashing the Democrat bashing is pretty scary. As a liberal, I had somebody come to the door today at my company, and I'm like, shit, I got this podcast, and they were banging on the door, and I'm like, we're a small company. I'm not on the news. I'm not like the CEO of Moderna, but I was like, I think I'm gonna get shot. Like I was nervous. I was like, he's like, I got a call. He's like, can you come to the door? It's UPS. I'm like, what the fuck? What UPS driver talks like that? I'm like, here it goes. Somebody heard my anti-Trump thing, and I'm gonna get shot today because I'm a liberal. That's how I really felt. But this guy is actually stirring up that much hate in people. Like you talk to people about Trump who still love Trump and still believe in that. It's because they believe in Christian nationalism. It's because they believe in the Mayflower. It's because they believe in going back to the way things used to be. But let me tell you, that doesn't happen. You can't put that back in the box. You can't put all those colors back. Once they're out, they're out. The kids want to play with them. They know where they are. brown, black, yellow, red. So I think that I'm not losing hope for the country. I know we'll get better, but it's hard to say that there's not a heavy sentiment of fear and anxiety. And it's going to be really sad when all of this comes to a halt and you see the way of life has changed a bit. And, people are losing their jobs and they're not getting another one. People are walking into stores, to ask for, food stamps. Your families are going on hard times, and a lot of it's going to be the people that said, I voted for this. This is what I voted for. This is what I fucking voted for. So be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. You just might. And I think that's kind of the moral of this Trump thing is I'm just at a place right now where you're getting what you asked for. Whether you know what you asked for or not, you're getting it. And it's kind of ironic. It's kind of like the same thing with what I've been up against with myself is like, you want a company? Here's your company. You want money? Here's your money. You want family? Here's your like. You're going to get what you ask for, and you're going to get what you put in and what you work for. And you're going to have to make some changes once you figure out, okay, what I've been chasing is not what I wanted. I wanted this part of it, but I can't have it unless I sacrifice this. I don't want this anymore, so I need to just accept that that's not going to be me, and I'm going in this direction now. And as a country, I think we're at that point where we're all hanging on to, we wanted Trump to be a certain type of way. We wanted our president to act like a president. We wanted the right side to eventually see that. And it's just not happening. So we have to make some changes. What you cannot change, you must accept. And what you can change, what's the saying? What you cannot, what can be changed must be changed, and what cannot be changed must be accepted. So if you want something to be changed and you need it to be changed and you can change it, do it. But if you can't change it, you're going to have to start accepting it for what it is. What we're becoming. And it's sad, man. Lamar Jackson, rough night, rough go. Other than that, I had my first year of marriage in the books. Thank you guys. Oh my God. Did you guys bring me a cake? All right. Production, you guys are the best. I'll look at it in a minute. I got to finish this. You're right. Thank you. Oh, that was awesome, man. But no, 1 year of marriage has been extremely rewarding because so far we're in our second year now, a couple days, and it's been amazing. Way better than the first. I mean, the first year, you're getting to know each other again. You're sizing each other up again. You're challenging each other in different ways because you're like, okay, I'm going to be with you the rest of my life. We signed a paper. Remember, you signed a paper. You're supposed to change now. Things are supposed to be different. Like, that doesn't happen overnight. There's a lot of things about me that I can work on constantly, self-improvement. And I talk to her about it openly. Our communication has gotten way better. Living with somebody and getting up next to somebody and sleeping with them and eating with them and raising children together and working together. I mean, we've put a lot on us, just like my life. We've made struggle where there didn't have to be struggle. And I think we're starting to whittle it back in our relationship and our marriage. And I'm so thankful to Katie because she has been my partner in life. She's been my best friend. She started the company with me. Well, she didn't start it with me, but she joined up pretty fast, and she stayed by my side no matter what, no matter how I sounded, no matter what anybody thought of me. She has been rock solid, and that includes friends, family. Like, Katie has drawn a line in the sand that it's me and her against the world. It's me and her and the baby and Avery, and everybody else is there, but this is our family. And for somebody to do that who's a lot younger than me, she's 5 years younger than me. You're younger than me. I'm your boss. I'm your daddy. She's so strong. She's still the person I married, but different. She's matured. She's become. She is the best mom I've ever met. She is so incredible with both my kids, and she is smoking hot. She's had to overcome having a baby at a young age, and that's hard, especially for a girl like her, who always had time to get work out, and she was off to dental hygiene school. She was making $65 an hour, and then to have a kid as young as she did, I have so much respect for how she's handled it and how she's somehow made a life with us. It's kind of surprises me doesn't surprise me that we're together, right? It just surprises me every day how she keeps it all together, and she keeps us together, and she is the heart of my family. So I love you, Katie. I really do. And you're my best friend. And I wish you a happy 1 year of marriage with me. And the second year, we're going to travel more. We're going to make money, and we're not going to give it away to people who don't want it or just don't want sales. We're going to keep the money, and we're going to stay small as a company, but grow big financially with everybody in the company. These three people, we're going to go to the moon together in terms of finances. Like, I'm so happy for our second year of marriage, and who knows, maybe another kid. I would love that. I'd love to have a boy, and I would also love another girl. But, a second year of marriage, I'm really excited because I think this is a time where we can be responsible, make good decisions for ourselves financially, invest in each other's hobbies too, and learn to just live and love our lives. And just knowing that if we do that, then then it's all worth it. If we're happy doing what we want to do, if I'm loving my company and my work and TikToking and podcasting, that'll, and not just self-destructing myself anymore, and I think for her, I think I want to see how happy she is and what she chooses to do in her marriage, because I know she's capable of so much, and I've seen her grow, and I've seen her change into such a beautiful, strong, I love her so much. I'm just excited for you, baby. I'm excited for this next chapter of our lives together. And I want to thank you for being with me, because I'm a lot, as I've been told since I was 4. So I really appreciate you. I love you, baby. And I took her to a comedy show. The comedy show was incredible. If you want a date, I would suggest doing a comedy show. It's so fun. 2 things I learned about the comedy show before I let you guys go. 1, comedy is easy as shit. I could have gotten up there and done better than 3 of the comics. 2, comedy is hard. I don't know exactly how I'm going to get up there. I don't know what I'm going to have to say, because they get up there for 20 minutes or 30 minutes at a time. And I think it's kind of like podcasting or music. There's a cadence, a rhythm, a flow. It's all acoustics with your voice, with your body language. So I think I could do stand-up comedy, and I want to do stand-up comedy. The second year of marriage, and my goal is to do stand-up comedy. I want to do stand-up comedy. I'm going to make it happen. And that's the life that I want as a hobby, at least. So I want to get into that. And it's like a podcast, because 10 minutes of it, he's doing a joke. 10 minutes of it, he's working the crowd. And then 10 minutes, he does another joke. So they kind of work the crowd a lot. And that's something I'm good at, the improv of it. I could do that all day long, especially if I'm buzzed and they're buzzed. Because people, you don't understand, people come to a comedy show wanting to laugh. They want to be entertained. So they're already kind of predisposed. So if you're just a little off, if you can be a little eccentric and, do some stuff with your body, you can really get some laughs. So it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be, but it's also, I'm not going to underestimate it like I did TikTok, business, owning a business, and all the other stuff in my life that I've underestimated. If I do comedy, I'm going to take an acting class. I'm going to take a joke class, learn some stuff. I'm going to go into the second part of my marriage and life where I drop my ego, learn it, get good at it, and love it. Learn it, get good at it, and love it. That's the moral of the story. Learn it, get good at it, love it. I like that. I'm going to use that for the title of tonight's episode. Thank you, guys. This is Visitor Parking, episode 40. God bless America. God bless our troop. Donald Trump, get the out of office. Good night.